Good afternoon and welcome to Innovation Guelph presents Toolkit Tuesday. I am Mickey Campo. I'm Director of Community Growth with Innovation Guelph, and I'm super happy that you've all decided to share your lunch hour with us here today. I'd like to first welcome our two friendly American Sign Language interpreters whose time today is graciously provided in kind by Sign Language Interpreting Associates of Ottawa, both Roxanne and Liz today. Thank you both for joining us. And of course, thank you to SLIAO. While I'm at it, I'd also like to thank our corporate sponsors. Of course, Ernst & Young, Reese Informatica, Invest in Guelph, and BDO. We are super grateful for all the support in everything we do here at Innovation Guelph. Before beginning the session today, I would like to give recognition to the land that Guelph is on. We acknowledge that many others here today may be on different territory. So we do invite and encourage each of you to give recognition to the land that you occupy today and every day. Guelph is situated on treaty land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples today. As a business located in this city, we have a responsibility for the stewardship of this land on which we live and work. And today we acknowledge the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation of Anishinaabeg peoples on whose traditional territory we are meeting. Today's webinar is called Amazon 2023, What's Changed and What is Right for Your Business, with Don Thompson, who is a mentor here at IG and an expert on the topic. So in case some of you are new to Innovation Guelph, I'll spend just a quick moment letting you know a little bit about us. We are one of 17 regional innovation centers in Ontario. And while we are indeed located in Guelph, we service the full region of Southern Ontario and have one national program. And this means that while most of our clients are relatively close by, we do have clients in BC all the way to Nova Scotia and throughout all parts of the province of Ontario. We do work with clients, supporting them throughout multiple stages of business growth, from startup to scale up, with many programs, workshops, mentorship, networking opportunities, and an annual trade show called Ontario Innovation Expo. But now, more about our presenter and the reason you're here, Don. So Don Thompson is an innovative product development expert. He's focused on helping startups deliver product solutions that solve real customer problems for global marketplace success. He is also a mentor and an industry specialist here at Innovation Guelph, as well as at other innovation centers nearby. His expertise is owned by more than 25 years of industry experience developing and managing new products for top performing Fortune 100 companies, including Amazon, BlackBerry, and General Electric. Following senior management roles at both BlackBerry and Amazon, he founded Prismatic Global in 2015, specializing in product development, go-to-market, product lifestyle management, and Amazon product launch solutions, which is really why he is here with us today. During this presentation, should you have any questions for Don, please use the Q&A feature of Zoom, and we will monitor and ask your questions when the right moment appears during the presentation. Or we might save them to ask at the end when the time allows. So I'm going to pass things over to Don. I wish you a wonderful hour. The session will last about 60 minutes today. Thank you for joining. Over to you.
All right. Now, Mickey, are we going to be able to see any of the other people?
No, you won't see people today.
Okay.
Full webinar format, so you can communicate through Q&A.
Got it. Sharon. Okay. I'm going to assume everyone can see my screen.
We can.
We're good. Awesome. Okay. Okay, folks. Good to see some of the names on the list. Noticed a few from past discussions that I've had. And we're going to be talking about Amazon 2023 and what it means to be selling on Amazon. There have been some changes, some different fee structure changes and bits and pieces that we should talk about, as well as just what's happened through the pandemic and kind of what are we still seeing in terms of growth and opportunity for you. And so we'll be talking about those. And again, if there are any questions that you have, put it in the chat, and Mickey and team will find a time to ask it. Okay. So we're going to talk about selling on Amazon. Can I make money and how? How does Amazon work as a channel for my business? What is required to maintain Amazon as a channel for my business? And how is Amazon 2023 different than before? And so we'll be going through various items to address these questions and hopefully come out of this with kind of an idea on, does Amazon make sense for your business as part of your overall channel strategy? Okay. So to start, we're going to share some of the fascinating statistics for sellers within Amazon. And it's quite interesting where we talk about e-commerce. Amazon owns 40% of the e-commerce pie, and the next 5 largest are 38%. So the gorilla in the room is Amazon, and we need to figure out a way to work with them. Average daily sales revenue, $1.3 billion with 310 million customers worldwide. So lots of opportunity there in terms of eyeballs. And this is one of the key ways in which Amazon is different than your Shopify store and other platforms. They have eyeballs, and that's something we want to make sure we can exploit for our business. 66% of consumers start their product searches on Amazon. Okay. And Amazon has become the Google search for products. And one of the things that I find fascinating myself when I start talking with potential new clients is the fact that people are actually searching their brand on Amazon and they didn't know about it. And so that's an opportunity for us to exploit and kind of bring new customers in. There's 3,700 new sellers join Amazon every single day. And so it's still a very popular platform to be on. Most Amazon sellers are bootstrappers, where they spend $5K to start up, and 32% of them spend less than $1,000. Okay, so you can get up and running on Amazon inexpensively and find your path as part of your overall channel strategy. Third-party sellers, which would be you, and I'll talk about third-party versus vendor later on, where they represent 76% of the Amazon sellers. And so this is where you're looking at who's it shipped by and sold by. Sold by you, your brand, shipped by Amazon means you're a third-party seller. Okay. The US, 7,000 products are sold per minute. 89% of sellers use FBA, and this means shipment by Prime. So you place your order and it shows up within 2 days. 89% of sellers are using that, and it's definitely something I recommend. Something that I've been speaking more and more with clients about is how they can potentially sell their business. And there's something called Amazon aggregators. And it's been a very large, through the pandemic, opportunity for customers who are selling on Amazon to actually sell their business, their Amazon business, to large aggregators like large distribution partners, essentially, who are selling the product, your product now online. And it's been quite the opportunity that's come out post-pandemic. And then 76 million households in the US have Prime memberships, up 15% over the pandemic. And so this is very similar in terms of growth that we've seen in Canada, where most of you would start selling. However, what I love about Amazon and Prime is the fact that they give you these customers who are ready to buy your product because of the fast, free shipping that comes with it. Now, top categories to sell in. So if you're selling home and kitchen, it's the largest category where small businesses have been going into recently. Beauty and personal care, which is a lot of the clients that we talk to, a lot of skincare brands and natural health products fit into the beauty and personal care, followed by toys, clothing, and then health, household, and baby care. So groceries is something I do have clients that we've worked with in the grocery category. And we saw some spike, obviously, during the pandemic where we couldn't go to supermarkets. And that's come down a little bit, but still opportunity and growth that we should look at and explore to see if customers are going to use Amazon as a search channel for your product. Okay. So why do people shop on Amazon? Not much has changed here. Fast, free shipping. Okay. If you have a Shopify store, which most of you, some form of Shopify store, the biggest friction that we end up talking about is how much does it cost to ship the product? For me to ship anything from Guelph to Toronto is still $20. And that's if I ship it to Vancouver, it's probably $20 as well. So this fast free shipping with Amazon, yes, you pay a little bit for it in terms of your overall fee structure, but it's a big opportunity for us that we can look at to exploit customers and their demand. Broad selection. They have everything I need. And so you'll see the customer journey come in where they're looking for, back to school supplies, and they may end up buying some back to school snacks as well. And so there's opportunity and an overlap of opportunity for that same customer journey that we should exploit. They're Prime members already. They trust the pricing. They trust the return process. And again, another thing I speak with Shopify store owners a lot is people will trust Amazon to take product back more so than they would trust you themselves, because they know Amazon has their best interest in mind. The seller is somebody they don't know, and if they don't like that product, may have friction sending it back if it's being sold through their Shopify store. And so trusting through Amazon is a big thing, and we want to make sure we draft that trust. And it's really part of the entire customer experience when we're looking at Amazon in general for us. Okay. So lots of great reasons why they shop, and it's important for us to figure out how do we check all the boxes here, because customers are going to be using this, whether it's front of mind or back of mind, in terms of how they make decisions to use Amazon as a shopping channel. Okay. So this is our bump. How many billions of US dollars Amazon sold through their platform? And you'll see 2020, 33.51 to 42.48 to 52.11. Okay. Small bump into 57, but this is this kind of bump from COVID that we see. And we see the change not as big, okay, in terms of projected growth, but this bump, the question is it going to stay? And the fact of the matter is, yeah, it's kind of baked into the numbers now, where people are used to going to Amazon to buy things. They may look at it in retail, they may buy it in retail the first time, but they're definitely coming back to Amazon to see if they can get it faster with less friction, right? And so we need to make sure, again, we're exploiting that for your needs. So why should I be on Amazon? 81% of customers conduct online research before making that purchase online. 28% of shoppers are using mobile phones while in a physical store to look up discounts, compare prices, and read product reviews. And so if you have a product that they haven't come across before, and a lot of the Innovation Guelph clients have, food brands and the like, people will check it out on Amazon to see what the reviews look like. They'll look at the price. And candidly, we have a number of clients where the price is higher on Amazon to account for some of the shipping and other costs, and they still buy it from Amazon. Why? Because they trust it and it's less friction. Okay. 30% of customers say influencer recommendations are one of the key factors in their purchasing decisions. And this is this whole industry that's opened up in terms of influencer marketing that we have to take into account, where how do we get micro-influencers to use our product, show our product, and then lead people to Amazon to buy the product. And there's a whole bunch of different commission ways to set that up, and we can talk about that if it made sense. But 30% of consumers say influencer recommendations matter. And it's become the new celebrity endorsement, essentially, that we'd see on TV before, now being quote unquote regular people. Okay. On average, only 1.62% of e-commerce website visitors convert into a purchase. Okay. On Amazon, we get 10. Okay, so 10% of consumers converting on your page is where we want to get to. And we have some clients where we have it over 20. And so the way we do that is we optimize the funnel. We make sure we're getting the right types of people, the right kind of keywords. But 1.62% coming onto your Shopify site and converting versus 10 to 20% happening on Amazon. That doesn't happen overnight. However, it takes time and effort to make that happen. Okay. And then the last one is the high extra costs are the top reasons shoppers abandon carts. And those high extra costs, shipping. So how do we bake in shipping into your overall price of product if we're using Shopify, or frankly, just use Amazon Prime because it's all included. Okay. So why do we care? It's all because you want to be able to make money, right? So how does Amazon work for you to make money? And the first hint I give you is all about the customer. So one of the things you learn being indoctrinated by Amazon is it's all about the end consumer. In general, it is easier to get new sellers on a platform than it is to get new customers to buy product. So they always index toward the customer. Everything that Amazon does is looking to make sure whether your product is good for customers. If you have a bunch of negative reviews that come in, that means you're not good for customers. Okay. If you have a bunch of negative seller reviews come in that you haven't been good as a seller of the products, they're going to blacklist you on the platform. Okay. So we need to make sure that we're focused on the customer with great customer service, great descriptions, great images that accurately represent the product that you're actually selling. Okay. One of the things we look at if we're selling, a lot of us are selling the same product, is this whole idea of seller reviews, where I may sell Oreo cookies and Mickey may sell Oreo cookies and Adelaide sells Oreo cookies as well. What happens is if I have a 5-star review as a seller because I actually ship my Oreo cookies and Mickey breaks them before she ships them, and Adelaide, she only ships half a box. Okay. What ends up happening is I get a better review rating and Amazon is going to put me higher up in front of customers than the other two. Now, most of you are selling private label products, which is great, but then we also have to look at distribution and other people who are buying through distributors like John Luca or Purity, as an example, to make sure that they're also good sellers and pricing is maintained. Okay, we can talk more about that later. Now, Amazon cares about price. If we are all selling Oreo cookies and they're all the same quality of Oreo cookie, then it comes down to price. I'm selling them for $5, Mickey sells them for $4, and Adelaide sells it for $3. Adelaide's going to get more of that buy box at the top of the page, right? It doesn't mean I won't get some, because Amazon's always testing because they make a little bit more money if they sell it for a higher price. But at the end of the day, it's pricing. That's what Amazon cares about because all customers want lower prices. Okay. Next is prime availability. So if my product is at an Amazon fulfillment center, then Amazon can control it getting to that customer within 2 days. If I'm selling it and shipping it from my own warehouse/garage, then Amazon cannot control when they will receive that product. And so they give me less of the buy box because of that. Essentially, they trust their own shipping and logistics more so than Canada Post. Okay, so making sure that we have the best price and prime availability is something that's going to matter. And lastly, that seller rating that I talked about. So Amazon is going to make sure that sellers who have a better seller rating are put in front of customers more often because they trust the fact that they'll have a good experience as a customer. If I have a bad seller rating, there's a higher likelihood that a customer that Amazon worked hard to get may have a disappointing experience on Amazon, and they're always going to defend the customer from having a bad experience. Okay, so how does Amazon work? Think about the customer. It's all about price, availability with Prime, and making sure you have a good seller rating is what's going to matter. Okay. Now, the fundamentals of Amazon, we look at three big things: profitability, the competition, and supply chain. Okay, I'm going to go through each of these in more detail, but these are really the fundamentals of any channel strategy, and Amazon is just another channel. Okay, so we want to make sure from a profitability perspective that we start with profit and work our way backwards. Okay, there's a number of people that I've spoken to in the past that do not have a great understanding of their product costs. If you do not have a great understanding of your product costs, any channel will be bad for you. Amazon will be horrible for you. Okay, you have to know your product costs because there's always competitors directly shown to customers, and you may get tempted to drop your price to win more customers. And without a great understanding of product costs, it's going to be a really bad month. Okay, so starting with profit is important. I know plenty of sellers. You see, if you Google search for Amazon Guru, you'll be inundated with retargeted ads and for the rest of your life. So I see a lot of it. And there's a lot of them that talk about the revenue they make. They talk, oh, I'm a 7, 8, 9-figure seller. Okay, they don't talk about the profit they make. And the profit is what matters. The profit is what pays your bills. Okay, so understanding your product costs is an absolute must for this. Okay, now knowing your channel fees. Amazon is a channel, just like going into Metro, okay, or going to Home Depot with your product. It's a channel. There's a bunch of fees along the way that we have to account for, and Amazon is no different. So whether we have to ship it to Amazon, we'll go through these in more detail, whether we have to repackage it, reconfigure it, pay commissions, right? Pay a broker fee as an example. These are things that we have to understand and make sure we're accounting for in our overall profitability model. Because if we don't take this into account, we're going to have a very bad month. Now, many of you may have heard, if you've looked at Amazon in the past, that Amazon was adding 5% fuel surcharges. There's my English. They're adding different fees that happen over the holiday season, similar to the Uber fees that happen during high times when people all need rides. They add surge pricing. What's happened is those fees have gone up and up and up. And what's happened is it's kind of shaving little edges off of your profitability model. And so in the past, where I have one Innovation Guelph client where he sells a product where we've had to add $3 to the price. And the reason for that is the fees that have occurred from Amazon. And the good news is customers are getting a little more used to inflation right now. And so adding a couple dollars here and there has been okay. But we have to make sure we're doing it, understanding all those channel fees and what's going to change over time. Okay. And lastly, all these details really matter. If we don't know every nickel and dime of how it is being spent to go from my $25 MSRP to my cost of $2.50, we're going to have a bad month. Understanding that it is going to be a journey, okay? It's not profit day one, but seeing that path to profitability is something that we have to focus on. Because if we don't see a path to profitability, Amazon may not be the channel for you, okay? I have some clients where we said, if we break even, we're okay with that. And the reason is because they have other channels of distribution and they want customers to have access to their product no matter what. And so we create a strategy to say, okay, don't lose money, but to be able to do so, we have to understand all of our costs, every detail of labeling and stickering and all the things you have to do to be successful. Okay, so I spent a lot of time talking with clients about the profitability, because if we can't find a way to be profitable, then we shouldn't be in the channel. Okay. So when we talk about profit, we have the cost of our packaged product. And I go back to my Oreo cookies. We need to know, fully packed out, when you buy that product from your co-packer or from the distributor, from whoever you're getting your product from, how much is that product going to cost? Okay. If we do not know this cost, we need to get that cost. Because a lot of times when we're seeing quotes from co-packers and such, it's a case of 12. We need to know what we ship to customers at the end of the day is a pack of 1. And so we have to make sure we're getting it down to the right configuration for our cost of the packaged product. Next, shipping. We've got to ship the product. Now, depending where you're shipping it from, to get to your warehouse or garage or 3PL, okay, we need to know how much it is going to cost. And so there are some clients where we're talking about shipping pallets. There are some that we talk about shipping boxes, okay, and it can work either way, but we need to make sure we understand those costs because the shipping of that product has also gone up over time. And if we're also going to sell on Amazon.com, we have to get it into the US as well and take a look at things like taxes and duty, okay? So all products have some duty classification. The good news is the CBSA, the Canadian Border Service Agency, is actually good. You can talk to people and they will spend hours on the phone with you going through the different HS codes, the classification numbering system they use for different products to make sure that they get the right code for you, so you know the right duty amount for if you're going to ship it into the US. Okay. If you have product coming from China or India or just somewhere overseas, making sure we know all the duties that are coming into Canada added to your overall product cost, so we know the full burdened amount on the product. Because these taxes and duties, they can be 20 or 40% for some categories. And some of them are 3% and some of them are 0%. So it's really important to know our HS codes for the taxes and duty side for inbound shipping, as well as anything we're shipping into the US if we're going to do Amazon.com. Okay. And lastly, my profitability has a lot to do with reconfiguration and stickering. We helped one lady through the Rise Ventures program where she has a glass candle. Okay. Well, glass jars and what have you require bubble wrapping and stickering and lots of other stuff to make sure they're not going to break. So we have to add that cost to her overall model to make sure that she can still make money on the product. What we ended up doing was adding, I think it was almost $5 to the product when we listed it on Amazon versus our website. We still made sales, right? Because they wanted the fast free shipping and it was going to show up without being broken. So win for everybody. Okay. So, but this cost can, again, add up. And it may be 25 cents per unit. But as I mentioned, if we're selling a $25 product, every dime and nickel counts for us to make sure that we're making money or not losing, or only losing what we expect to lose. It all depends on your goals for your business. Okay. So how much can you expect to make? Okay. Everybody wants to know, how much can I make, Don? So what I tell them is 40%. Okay. 40% margin before ad spend. It's going to be different for every product, but I kind of use that 40% as a good indicator. I have some clients where we make 20%. We then have some ad spend. Okay. I have some clients where we actually make more than that. It just depends on the category, the competitiveness. So we have to look at the details of it. But I say 40% is a nice round, good number to start with. Okay. Amazon cost to consider. So one of the things that a lot of people don't account for is the shipping into Amazon. So you've taken it from your co-packer, you've shipped it to your warehouse/garage. You now need to ship it to Amazon. Small parcel, pallets, what have you. But you do not have any choice where it's going to ship into. Okay, and it's an important thing because if we don't get quotes for shipping to Brampton, to Vancouver, even out to Quebec, they have fulfillment centers in Quebec and Ottawa and what have you now, we're going to get surprised and it's going to affect our profitability model. Okay, so getting quotes, understanding that to make sure that we know the cost of shipping into Amazon. The sellout referral fee, how much Amazon charges you every time they make a sale, is typically 15%. Okay. Some it's a bit lower, some it's a bit higher, but most of yours are going to be 15% for the majority of the categories. And this is based on what the customer pays for the product. So if you run a sale of your $25 product and you make it $20, you pay 15% on the 20. Okay, so when we look at profitability of running sales, running coupons, advertising, we can take it into account to ensure that we understand the impact to your bottom line. FBA fees, the fulfillment by Amazon fees, are charged based upon the X, Y, Z, and mass of your product. So if you're shipping a 3-pack of something, 3-pack of glass jars, it's going to have a different size and mass of product. Okay. If you're shipping pillows, Amazon will use what's called a dimensional weight, very similar to anything that Canada Post or FedEx would use if you were shipping products. It's really all about the size and weight of the product, and most of the products that I deal with Innovation Guelph fall directly under this X, Y, Z, and massive product. Some of the tricks that I'll share is Amazon charges their FBA fee on a ladder format. So the first 250 grams has a cost of, say, $5. The next 500 grams will only add another $1.50. And so this is why you'll see multi-packs of product being sold, because just as I'm sure you've had shipping something to, to somebody, shipping 1 unit is the same price as essentially shipping 2 units and even maybe 3, okay, because it takes up a certain amount of space. And so when we look at profitability for your business and how we can make sure that you're going to make money with all these new fees Amazon has added, we look at the configuration to fit into the FBA fee, the fulfillment by Amazon, to ensure that we're going to optimize that for you. Okay. And then advertising cost. What I tend to tell people is to budget 15 to 20% of the cost of the product. Okay. It definitely depends on a number of factors. One being the category. Okay. If we are in the highly competitive natural health product category, we may have a much higher advertising cost that we have to account for than in some other categories. Pet food, pet products are also very competitive as well. Brand awareness, though, is also key, because if you go to an Amazon store, if you type in, dog food, okay, a lot of times the big brands are taking spots all over that page. Purina, for cat food or what have you, they're taking up lots of space. And we need to make sure that we are able to compete appropriately with those big brands. And that's where we build brand awareness. Brand awareness is typically built off Amazon through Instagram and TikTok and other social media channels. And they're coming to Amazon to buy your product. Okay. Eventually, we're going to build ratings and all other fun stuff, which will allow us to kind of compete with the bigger brands that are already in place. Okay. One thing that people need to note, there's a $30 Canadian fee per month that Amazon charges for you to qualify for Prime shipping. It is well worth it. Otherwise, they charge you an extra $1.49 per unit for shipping to customers. Okay, so hopefully we're going to sell more than, what is it, 15 units to afford the $29.99, and it's going to open you up for that prime shipping. So you need to budget for that as well. Now, competition is probably the biggest challenge that we have on Amazon. There's lots of entrenched brands on the platform that we need to make sure we're able to fight with. Okay. And so what I do is I go to the core basics of product management, which is where I spent most of my career. And we talk about pricing, packaging, positioning, and placement. Okay. I'm going to go through each one of these because this is where we can differentiate ourselves from the competition. And part of this is to ensure we understand where we fit in relation to the rest of the competitors. Who is our customer going to be? Why would they buy from us, et cetera? Okay. So with competition, pricing is usually the first lever that people talk about. Okay. Well, if I can lower my price by $5, is that going to get me more sales? And the answer is maybe, right? We don't know. We don't know how much people are willing to pay for your product on the platform. However, what we can do is look at how much people are paying for other competitive products on the platform. As I said earlier, we have websites where I'm selling a jar for $12.99, but on Amazon it's $17.99. So we need to make sure we're using the same channel as part of our competitive analysis, because people are looking for fast, free shipping with no minimum order size, right? To get free shipping on your platform, it's probably $50 or $75 they have to spend to get the free shipping. Amazon, I can spend $10 and it'll show up tomorrow. There. So positioning. This is when we think about customers are considering all competitive options that are available on the platform. It's where do I fit in relation to those? Am I the value brand? Okay. Am I a premium luxury brand? Where do I fit? Because that's going to set up everything for the imagery that I'm going to use, maybe the videos that I'll shoot. Okay. Even the way I'll write copy is going to be different based upon the type of brand I want to be in relation to all the alternatives that are out there. Okay. Through the competitive analysis, one of the things that we'll find a lot is one client, maybe, well, not even one client, one competitor may be selling 2,000 units a month, but they may be only making $20,000 a month on that product, where we can sell 1,000 units a month and make 40, right? And so it's important for us to understand where we fit and what we're trying to achieve as a brand. Obviously, the more volume, the more revenue, the better, but we have to stay true to who we are and where we fit across all channels when we're thinking about this. I have one client where we talk and they said, well, we spoke to our distributor and they don't want us to be on Amazon, right? And there's reasons for that, which we'll talk about later. But the first thing is saying, who am I as a position? Should I be found on Amazon? And how does that fit? If I'm selling, my own version of a Birkin bag or Louis Vuitton bag, maybe Amazon's not the right channel, right? If I'm selling a consumer packaged good that is priced in kind of standard grocery, maybe it is an appropriate channel. We just need to figure out how we fit. Okay. Now, packaging isn't necessarily the way the box looks, okay? Packaging is what do people receive when they buy your product? What comes in the box? How many units? If I'm selling something that has a whole bunch of accessories, the charger for the product, or do I have to buy them separately? What we want to do is look at everything the customer needs to be working day one. And so We've worked with some clients where we put together, okay, what does this box look like? What comes in it, and can they walk out working? They have everything that they need, okay? Or is it just the jar, and that's okay? It just depends on the overall package that the customer is receiving, and generally how they're going to use it, and we have to consider that. The packaging itself, we do not need custom physical packaging for Amazon versus other retailers, okay? We can use the same packaging. We can also have custom packaging for Amazon if you wanted, but it becomes a bit of a SKU management problem at small scale that we have to consider, okay? So definitely something we look at, but the packaging, positioning, and pricing are all things that are considered in relation to our competitors. Okay. Lastly, though, is placement. Okay. So placement is where is the product placed in the storefront on Amazon? What category has Amazon defined as being most relevant for your product? Are there multiple categories available? And is one less competitive in that location versus others? So this is a hack and a trick that I've used pretty successfully with some of the Innovation Guelph clients. One of them in particular makes handmade products in a very, very competitive category. And so what we did is we moved her into the handmade category, which has much less competition, but allows us to get bestseller ranks and Amazon Choice badges a lot easier. So that when we show up in general search, it looks like we're the bestseller for the entire category. And it worked really, really well for us for that particular brand. So knowing how Amazon works and how they place you in the storefront makes sense. And they're changing these categories all the time. They're adding categories. You'll see different categories on Amazon.com versus Amazon.ca versus Amazon in the UK. So knowing where you can fit and understanding where your competition is in relation to those categories is important. It's something you need to watch for, especially, just over the last couple of years, Amazon has changed this pretty dramatically, and it affects everything we do in terms of what store, what area, what section Amazon's going to put you into. Okay, just like any retail location. Okay. Should I answer the question, Mickey, that is in the chat, or wait?
Up to you. If
I can answer it now.
Fits right now, or if you want to talk about different kind of.
Yeah, I can answer now. Frozen and refrigerated goods are a no-go. Okay, unfortunately. It's something that Amazon has done with Amazon Fresh in the US. It's still fairly limited, and it's kind of up in the air on what direction it's going. It's also only available to vendors of Amazon, meaning they buy from you like any normal retailer would buy. Okay, so, and we'll talk a little bit more about vendor versus seller, but unfortunately, refrigerated or frozen goods, no go. Okay, the buy box. So I mentioned this in the past. Amazon has more and more sellers coming on the platform every day. And whoever owns the buy box is the one who gets the sale. Now, we spoke about the fact that if Mickey, Adelaide, and I are all selling the same Oreo cookies, part of this will be what our price is. It'll also be whether it's Prime available and what my seller rating is to see who's going to win. Okay, so we want to make sure we're in the buy box. And if you ever go to Amazon and you see this add to cart, okay, with a price, this is the buy box. Okay, so one of the clients that we worked with, Aaron Wellness, wonderful set of products for anybody. What you have here is this 5 new from this price means I have 5 different sellers selling this product. Okay, and so we have to make sure is that are we all at the same price? Okay, now MAP pricing is $32.99, so hooray, everyone's at the same price. Okay. Now, I have this one-time purchase for $32.99, ships from Amazon, sold by Shiny Life. Okay, Shiny Life is the seller. They're getting it for the one-time purchase. Okay. Now, subscribe and save. This is sold by Aaron Wellness. Okay, fulfilled by Amazon. So Amazon is sharing the buy box. If at one time it's going to these items, if you want to subscribe and save, it goes to Aaron. They're making this choice because Aaron has the most inventory. Okay, so Amazon wants to ship product. They're going to trust the person who has the most inventory for the subscribe and save. Okay, but this is the buy box. And the buy box is the most important thing. It will change every 15 minutes. Okay, if I look, if Mickey looks and Adelaide looked, we may all see different people in the buy box even. So there's a lot of A/B testing that Amazon is doing all the time to see who's going to get the most sales. Okay, because at the end of the day, Amazon does not care who sells the product. They care that a product is sold. And it's important to understand that, because I may have 28 resellers of this product, and Amazon does not care if one of them is selling the product for 20 bucks. They do not care, because customers always want low prices. So if we have a lot of resellers, we have to make sure we're managing this whole process, because this is where most brands fall down. John Luca, Purity, any of these distributors, they will sell your product to anybody with a wallet. Okay, they don't care because they made their sale. And so it's important that we have some level of agreement with the distribution partners about who we will sell to if they're an online only channel partner. Okay, and they will all absolutely do that. Okay, this has become a new thing over the last couple of years with the boom in Amazon and the number of resellers, because somebody can easily go to a show. CHFA is the big show most people go to, get a special deal to buy it for 30% off, and completely trash your market. And what happens is Sobeys sees that product on Amazon for $28 and then calls you going, what the heck? So we have to make sure we're managing the buy box. We're knowing who we sell to, because as Amazon has grown in its popularity, so have all the resellers. Okay. And I think this product, honestly, if I look now, has probably 28 resellers on it. And I know it's causing Miss Erin a lot of grief. Okay. So it's really important that we manage that and we pay attention to what is the buy box. Okay. So why Amazon? Why is Amazon even something you should pay attention to in 2023 and beyond? So first off, Amazon needs brands. Okay. They want brands on the platform. They want you to register your trademark with them, and they give you a bunch of extra branded content, which I'll go through. But they need brands, because what they want to be careful of is they don't want to turn into Alibaba. They don't want to turn into just, a flea market where you just buy whatever in whatever configuration. Okay. They want brands on Amazon. All size of brands. It doesn't matter if you're tiny. Okay. They'd love to have Nike. Okay. But they're very happy to have your small brand, your growing brand. Okay. And they've made it very easy for you to do this. I've put a little link here to this thing called the IP Accelerator. Okay. Where they allow you to register very easily using pre-approved legal resources. They charge you the same amount of money that they would charge anybody. There's no extra fees. It's around $1,000. Okay. There's a couple other ways to do it as well, which I can talk about later. When you have your brand registered with Amazon, they have a bunch of additional branded content that you can add to your page. You get a storefront section, so a store within a store on Amazon. Similar to if you go to Best Buy, for example, you see the Amazon table, the Apple section, the Google tables, etc. You end up getting a branded section inside the platform. And you also get additional advertising placements to get better reach on the platform. So one of the things I tell every person I talk to is please, please, please register your trademark. And I'm maybe not shocked anymore, but the number of people who don't have a registered trademark for their brand and they're already selling in retail is a little shocking. We want to make sure we register that trademark, and we can do it for $1,000. Okay, and there's other solutions now that are even less expensive. Okay, so to gain access to these benefits, you need to have that registered trademark and then register it with Amazon. Getting a full trademark on your product will take 18 to 24 months. Okay. The good news is if you've registered and the registration application has been accepted, they will accept that as part of the brand registry process. If you use the Amazon IP Accelerator, it's even easier because they already trust the legal resource that you're using to get that. And if you go on there, there's 5 or 7 different legal firms in that do this for Canada. And I think I've had clients use every one of them, and they're all the same. They're lawyers. It's about $1,000. They get you a trademark. Away you go. Okay. So using that process, that service, very important, because if you have your brand on Amazon, this will unlock the opportunity for you to expand. And in 2023, this has become the important part to get into the game with Amazon, is if you do not have a trademark, you're going to be severely limited with the ability for reach and the ability to talk about your brand than ever before. When you see Amazon branded content, I typically use Abakichi. It was a brand that I think they've done every program in IG over the last 6 years. And so I just use it because why not? And so what it allows you to do is put different images on how to use the product, different graphics, beautiful images with text inside, branded content, and all this will show up on the main page. You also can use this on the storefront page that's being there as well. Okay, so definitely check it out if you like miso sauce. It's great stuff. You can check them out on Amazon. It's more expensive on Amazon than their website, but you can buy 1 jar. So launch costs. People always ask, how much does it cost me to actually launch on Amazon, Don? I said, well, it depends. So Amazon is like any other sales channel. Okay, there are costs to get set up on the platform to begin the selling process. Just like when you get into retail, I remember speaking with one entrepreneur who she got her bars into retail, and she's like, holy crap, I didn't know that's when the work started, right? So she worked so hard to get it into retail, and then it's just the beginning. You've now got to pull it through the channel, okay? And so similar to being on Amazon, we have to make sure customers actually know we're there. And so we want to notify our followers, we want to invest in reviews, and we want to advertise on Amazon. Now, notifying our followers, we can launch with a social promo code. If we've built up some social following for our brand, we launch with that social promo code. It allows us to build an email and customer list, okay? Once we've built up this list of people, we get them to go to Amazon to purchase the product. Yes, you will make less money when you sell it through Amazon than you would your website, but we want to play the long game. We want them to come in. If they're already a fan of our product, they're going to buy that product, and then they're going to leave us a review on that product. And these are all people who have bought our product and already know and love us. So getting them to come in and start writing some good reviews, honest reviews, is going to help us in the long run. For brand registered people, we can also use something called Amazon Vine. And if you've ever seen reviews on Amazon, you'll see Vine review for free product. So Amazon will charge you $240 for access to their Vine review program. It used to be free a couple years ago. Now they charge you for it. Okay. You end up giving free product to these Vine reviewers. Amazon charges you the fulfillment cost to get it to them and the free product. Okay, so it's not the cheapest way to do it, but it's 100% the terms of service way to do it with Amazon. Okay, and you can get up to 30 reviews through that process. Okay, so investing in those reviews as part of your product launch strategy is important, and ensuring you have the budget allocated for maybe a discount code for your social followers and the Vine program are going to allow you to get reviews and start the sales engine. Okay, it's a classic cold start problem where we have to get some energy into the system to have it keep going and growing. Okay, once we have reviews, then it's time to advertise on Amazon. And so what I tend to do with clients is I tell them, let's try to get 15 reviews before we turn advertising on. And the reason for that is one, budget. Okay, we're already investing in some form of launch and other work and what have you. And so we may not have the cash flow to also start advertising. But two, if I have 15 reviews on a product, psychologically, it's actually not much different than having hundreds of reviews. Because 15 reviews, and if it's a 4-star or greater product, customers are going to start trusting it because most people don't know 15 people that they trust. Okay, so 15 is this kind of magic number that I've been using for a number of years, and it still seems to hold true in terms of our launch strategy. If you've got 12, we're good. Okay, but I try to use 15 as a great number because Vine allows us the 30 plus my social following, which can get me up and moving quicker. Okay, and then advertise on the platform. You know, they always people ask, how much does it cost to advertise on Amazon? And what I like to tell them is we want to start betting with $10 and $20 bills to see what's going to happen. Because we can come up with a great ad strategy, different keywords, different placement strategies, different content. We're going to do all that. But at the end of the day, customers are going to determine whether or not it's what they want. Reviews are going to determine whether or not they want to buy it again. And so advertising on Amazon, we want to bet with 10s and 20s. But I have clients where we spend, you know, over the holidays, for example, there's one client, you know, she spent $6,000 in advertising. We turned it into 60,000. So that's good, but it's still the cash flow required to make that happen is an important part of your overall launch strategy. Okay, especially with, you know, the clients that we're typically talking to with Innovation Guelph, startups and scale ups. And so we got to make sure we're respectful of cash flow. Okay, I have some clients where we spend $15,000 a month on ads. Okay, but it turns into a lot more money than that. And so we do want to start with the small dollar bets and then start to scale that up when we've dialed in the algorithm. Okay. Now, one question I get very frequently is what is seller versus vendor on Amazon? So I've included this slide just to make sure that we know what this is, because a lot of people want a forecast from Amazon. And Amazon will not give you a forecast unless you are a vendor. If you are a seller on Amazon, Amazon is a channel for your product to sell through. Okay, we list our product on Amazon. Amazon shows it to people. They charge us commission for that. 15%. They charge additional fees for FBA. You set the MSRP for your product. You forecast the channel inventory based on the data that we see. And you're responsible for advertising on and off the platform. Okay, so this is just another channel, but you're selling through. It's like your Shopify site, but they bring the eyeballs. As a vendor, Amazon is a customer that you sell to. So Amazon will forecast. They will tell you how much they want to buy it for, etc. They approach you to buy it, typically at some form of show that you may be at. They set the MSRP based on what is most profitable for them. This is the key important piece of that entire part. Because if Amazon says that they can sell it for $20 and you only want to sell it for $25, you're going to get into a fight with Amazon, which is usually a tough fight to win. Amazon forecasts with you, and you're responsible still for advertising on the platform. Okay, just like advertising in Metro and flyers or anything else. Okay, so how much can we make? We want to see if it's worth selling on Amazon. We do category research. How many people are searching for your brand already? How many searches are your competitors receiving? How much are they selling? Is the category large or small? And is it worth investing? Okay, should you put your money into this? So we can do a category report if you're interested. Speak with Mickey and Adelaide, and we charge $150. So it's like an hour of time for us to go through, pull that together, and give you a report that'll help understand whether or not Amazon is an actual channel for you. Okay. If you're already selling on Amazon or want to, it's like, hey, how do we get things listed on Amazon? Or I am selling there, but my sales aren't meeting my expectations. We look at what keywords matter, an advertising strategy, copywriting or refreshing of copy for the listing, updating the front end and back end for listing to optimize the ranking. So this is like Google SEO, but for Amazon. And starts from $750. Reason I say starts from is because if you have one product with a number of different sub-products, different flavors and such, then it'd be $750 plus a very small adder for all the different little bits and pieces. If you have 7 completely different products that you want to list, then it'd typically be $750 per. Okay, but happy to talk about what that looks like to make sure that there's a budget that works for you. Is it something you're interested in? Yes. Does it make sense? Is it profitable for you? Yeah. Okay. Then we launch as a channel. Okay. So what's next? Boost your Amazon business in 2023. Make sure we're differentiating ourselves. Work with someone to optimize your listing, titles, bullets, descriptions, enhance brand content, and all that fun stuff. Whether that's me or someone else, definitely work with someone who knows what they're doing in there. Develop your brand, get your trademark, build a website, get people both on and off Amazon who know that you exist. And invest in marketing promotion for your product on and off the platform, because we want to make sure that we're dragging people to Amazon to do the conversion and do the purchase, if that's their preferred channel of choice, or your Shopify site, either or. End of the day, we want you to grow your revenue and also grow your profit. Okay, and that is it. I hand it back to Mickey.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks, Don. We went a few minutes over. I put a note in the chat. There's just, if there's any questions quickly, I think we can take a couple of those. But not a whole lot came in the chat throughout the presentation. I think he covered a whole heck of a lot. So I think that's great. Oh, lots of kudos, which of course we know, right?
Bye, Miriam.
It's very thorough. So
Thank you, Rebecca.
We'll be sending out the slides later this week, as well as a copy of this presentation. Look for it in a couple of days. And then it'll also be up on our YouTube channel for you all to watch again. Feedback form is there. Please click and let us know how today went. But of course, let us know if there's anything else you would like to see on these monthly sessions. And we hope that you come back again next month. So thanks again to everyone here, to our sponsors, to SLIAO, and to Adelaide for helping out everybody. I wish you a happy afternoon, and we'll see you again next time.
Great.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.